Okay, so when we're talking about fourths and fifths now, in string shapes, in the caged string shapes, as I explained, let's say we're doing an E shape down here, E shape. What's the next letter in caged? D. We bar that. There's a D-shaped C. This is an E-shaped C. Bar it there. We have a D-shaped C. Start the word caged again, and we're going to have a C-shaped C. Now you know what you want to play. You just have to fit it, get used to fitting things in where they're. So half the battle's knowing what you want to play. So if you're on a C string shape, 3, 4, 5, and you want to go up to the next string, you're going to go to the fifth of that C string shape, which the fifth of C is G. The G string shape is actually 6, 7 root. Okay, so C string shape 3, 4, 5. The next one up is 6, 7 root. No sharing of notes there because we're going vertically. Vertically, we're not going to share notes. For now, we're not going to share notes. Okay? So the C string shape goes to its fifth of C is G, 6, 7 root string shape. The fifth of G is what? We can count up modally, or, well, it's the same thing in the key of G, is the D string shape, 2, 2, 3, 4. So over here, again, we have the D string shape. So we start here with the C string shape, 3, 4, 5. Next string up is the fifth of it, 6, 7 root. The next string up is the D string shape, 2, 3, 4. Why is it the D string shape? Why is it 2? It's 2 because when you're playing a D with capo on, all right, when you're playing a D, the E becomes the 2. Why is it called D? Because when we play an open D, the bottom string becomes a 2, 3, 4. The E becomes the second of D. So that's why the D is there, because we're playing an open D, and the 2 is there because E becomes the 2. That's the same thing, same rule for the other 4 short string shapes. Okay, so when we're playing an open A, the E becomes the fifth. We're playing an A shape. I can do it down here because you can do it anywhere. So an A-shaped F here. It's just shapes now. A-shaped F. A-shaped B flat. A-shaped B natural. Okay, try that again, Andy. A-shaped F. A-shaped G flat. A-shaped G. A-shaped B flat. A-shaped A flat, and A-shaped A right here. Here's your A, A-shaped A. By the way, you can always suspend the A, you can always suspend the root chord. Okay, but you don't want to suspend the fourth unless you want to do that. Because that suspending the fourth makes that first A the fifth of the key of D. So if you suspend that fourth of the fourth, you're making the first the fifth. Okay, instead of it sounds like that's what it's doing. But you can always suspend the root chord and stay in the mode, and then the fifth you can suspend the fourth. The fourth, you can always do the major seventh there. Okay, that was a digression. So we've got our short patterns here you should understand now why these string shapes are named the way they are and what they are. And then, so when you're going up, you're going in fifths. The fifth of E is defined not as B, but the C, because it's the C shape. So when we have the E, we have an E-shaped F here. We're going to go to a C-shaped C for its fifth. So we go. See, I'm extending it down to show you that, you know, it's similar to what it's doing. So the fifth. Now, if you look at the F shape there, and you move it up, when you go up, and when you move a pattern up, you're going to its fourth. When you move a pattern down, you're going to its fifth. So when we're on that E-shaped F there, let's say we're in the E box, we're on an E-shaped F. When we move that pattern down, what comes down? 3, 5, 6 root. That's our C shape there. 5 root 3, 5. But now, because of the tuning warp, it's shaped a little different. But it starts out as a nice C shape there. Your normal C shape would be over here. 5 root 3, 5 root 3. Okay? D shape goes to C shape in caged. Okay? D, and then you start the word caged over again. Here's your C shape. 5 root 3. And then into a D shape. What's the next shape over from C is the A shape. 5 root 3 right there. Next shape over is the G shape. Is root 3, 5. G's always in root position. Okay. Okay, so these are the string shapes. These are the shorts caged. A is 5, 6. E 7 root 2. So when you're going up the strings or down the strings, up you're going to go to the fifth of that letter, but remember the fifth of the E shape is the C shape, and the fourth, when you're going down, you go to the fourth of the letter. Conversely, the fourth of the C shape is the E shape, but otherwise the others are normal fourths and fifths. So you know which shape you're going to go to. It's just a question of fitting the shape in. Where does it go? There's two factors. One is normal pattern building, and the other is, so we can look at in the long patterns, the modal patterns, we have mostly part of the short patterns right there. So we have our S4E. So pattern shape fitting is, this one happens to be brick wall, so that's the easiest one. The only problem to remember about the S4E is when you hit the tuning third between the G and the B string, you have to play the B and the top E string over 1/2 step. So that's warp fitting, and then there's regular old pattern fitting over here where we have, I'm on a D. I'm going to go up to the next string. I'm down below the tuning third, so I know it's going to be in P4 territory. What's the next shape? I know I'm going to play the A shape, but where is it? You just have to remember that the A shape is right in the middle of that S3, S3S short, 2, 3, 5, 6 root 2, that box right there. So it's going to be right in the middle there. Now we also might want to go sideways. If we go sideways, they're going to be interlocked. So instead of let's say 7 root 2 going to 3, 4, 5 on this from string to string, 7 root 2, 3, 4, 5, we're going to have 7 root 2 goes to 2, 3, 4, going to the right, 7 root 2, 2, 3, 4, interlocked by the 7. Now we can skip a letter in the word cage and go to the G shape there. So, well, from the E shape we skip the D shape and go